They've got so much more stuff we want to get on, and I want to talk to just Brother James and I, before we get back into chapter 12. There's so much stuff I've seen through there, but since that, there's enough people here that don't know about the beast, who they are. Sister Denise, do you remember about the beast? The different beasts in the book of Revelation?
I remember us talking about them, yes, but I don't.
Okay, we'll just go over that, okay, a little bit. I think Sister Teresa, you know them all pretty well, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, sometimes, people talk about the beast, and then, of course, there's one main beast, which is that people think first when they talk about the beast, people think of the Antichrist, the man of sin, and the little horn. And, but he's only one of them. And, so when people realize, oh, then there's another beast, well, then who are all these beasts, right? And what do they represent? And those are important so you can understand it's easier to understand when you read through the book of Revelation and the prophecies. You have the right identities of the entities that are being presented as beast. And so when we talk about beast, what qualifies something, someone, or a spirit or a system to be called beast? Anybody want to try?
Would it be Antichrist spirit?
Well, it's a beast. Something that is a beast is something that is influenced or possessed by devils, by demons.
Okay.
It's either a demon or something that is under the power of Satan, right? So because we find that there's the government that is identified as a beast. Then we have a false prophet who's identified as a beast. We have different systems and so we have one that is not called a beast. Actually, we have two who are not called a beast, but we can identify them as beast. And let's start with the first beast that we find in, or actually, let's go to the book to the first time the name beast, the word beast, is mentioned in the book of Revelation. Okay, and that would be in Revelation chapter 11, and I believe that is it verse 7? Yeah, 11, Revelation 11 and verse 7. If anyone wants to read that.
Just 7, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, just 7 for now, please.
Okay, I'll read it.
Okay.
And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them.
Okay. This is talking, the context here is the two witnesses. And when they finish their testimony of 1,260 days, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And so far, we don't have any entities called the beast before that line in the book of Revelation. But we have one entity that fits the description of that verse, that calls the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit. All right. And at this point, so far, this is in the first, no, this is in the second half, but prior to the second half, there's only one entity that came out of the bottomless pit that would qualify as a beast. Okay? And we find that in Revelation chapter 9. I think we touched on it a little bit last meeting. But we'll go to look at it where, is it the fifth trumpet or the sixth? I think it's the fifth trumpet. Yeah. The fifth trumpet, let's start in Revelation 9 and, verse 1. We'll read a couple verses there, at least 1 and 2. And, then
1 and 2.
Yeah, for now, yeah. Start with that.
And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
Okay. Let's move down now to verse 10, where it describes, there's quite a few verses here that describe just a minute, read verse 3 first.
3. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power.
Okay, so out of that smoke comes out, actually the bottomless pit, is open, comes out a cloud of black smoke, and out of the smoke comes out creatures that look like locusts. But they come out of the bottomless pit, so they're obviously spirit being, right? They are spiritual creatures, and that were in the pit. And if we go down to verse 9, it describes them as scorpions and all this stuff, right? Locusts, but with the tails like a scorpion, and we'll go down to verse 9 and 10. Go ahead.
And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they
keep reading, yes, please.
And
verse
they
11,
had
yes.
a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Okay. How many think? Well, it says the angel of the bottomless pit. And was the name Abaddon? Abaddon or Apollyon?
Abaddon.
Yeah. Okay. That name means the destroyer. Okay. And and he's coming out of the bottomless pit. So he's obviously not a holy angel. He's a fallen angel. Okay. And he's the king over all these locusts that have tails like scorpions and all that hurt people and with the sting like a scorpion. And that's the only entity that we can find that could be described, that could fit the bill there, if we could say it this way, that comes out of the bottomless pit, right? Remember in chapter 11 and verse 7, it says, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit. Okay, so that would be the first beast that we have identified there, and that beast plays a role there, then we don't hear about it anymore. Okay, so it's not an ongoing beast that plays a role all the way through, but it does have this this role that it does there, that it kills. It talks about the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit and that kills the two witnesses. Okay, so that would be the first beast that we find in the book of Revelation. Then we have the second beast is not even called a beast again, but it's the beast of beasts. It's the dragon, and that's in Revelation 12 and verse 3. You want to read that? 3, you can read. Yeah, verse 3. You can read.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Okay. And who is this dragon? Verse 9.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So this beast, this dragon is the devil. That's why it says the beast of beasts, because he's the one who causes other beings to be called beast. No? Okay? So we have the second beast, which is the devil, the dragon. And the amazing thing here is that when John sees this, in verse 3, he says, there appeared another wonder. Where?
Heaven.
In heaven. That's weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't cast into the bottomless pit when he left his estate. Well, because when actually in the first time that he went overboard, boundaries, he was not cast out of heaven, but he left his estate, is what the scripture tells us. And he drew, in verse 4, says he drew the third part of the stars of heaven, of the angels. In this case, stars are representing angels. All right. So this would be the second beast, which is undeniable that it's a beast, even though he doesn't call him a beast. I would say that a dragon, we would all agree that it's a beast. And then we have a third beast, which is quite different. And I think somebody have another version, another Bible version other than the King James? It could be the NASB, or most of the versions will probably be fine, because if we use the King James, there's an error there, and we've gone through this before. So you only have the King James, right, Sister Teresa? With you?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Anybody got able to read with another version? And I'll explain the reason why. Let's go ahead and read chapter 13 and verse 1, Sister Teresa, please.
Chapter 13 and verse 1.
Yes.
Okay. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of the blasphemy.
Okay. What I want to bring our attention is because the way the King James has it, it says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea. Makes it sound like John is the one who stands on the sand of the sea. And then out of the sea comes out this beast. That's a little bit odd to try to reconcile all this together. Let me go grab my phone. It should be charged enough. Just hold on. Okay, let me see if hold on here. We'll go with NASB. I think it reads quite well. Revelation 13. Wow, kind of weird. What happened there? Okay. All right. In the in the NASB and many other versions, most versions are written this way. Sometime it will be in chapter 12, verse 18, but in this case, you will only have 17 verses in the King James or this one in chapter 12. And then you get in chapter 13, it says, and the dragon stood on the sand of the seashore. Okay. Did you guys see the difference there? Where the King James said, and I stood upon the sand of the seashore. Okay. Okay, so in here, the King John wrote, and the dragon stood on the sand of the seashore. And while he sees this dragon on the sand of the seashore, he says, then I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and on his horns were 10 diadems, and on his heads were blasphemous names. Okay. So what we get out of this, when it's the way it's written now, with the dragon is on the sand of the seashore, John is seeing that this dragon is making this beast coming out of the sea. There's a beast that comes out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns. Similar to the dragon himself. But there's a difference. I forgot to read it in Revelation 12. No, we did read it. Verse 3, it says that the dragon had 7 heads and 10 horns, and there are 7 crowns on the heads, one on each head. But in here, the beast that comes out of the sea is different. It's the dragon that makes that beast come out, and there's 10 crowns, diadems, on the horns, not on the dragon heads, not on the beast heads. Okay, so this is there's a difference there, so it's not the same beast. Now we want to ask, who is this beast that comes out of the sea? And we had identified it before, but anybody want to say? Go ahead.
NATO.
Yes, exactly. It's the world government, right?
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. So this is a different beast. This is and for this reason, where the book of Revelation is calling government beast. And I think we had seen that the King James, I think Brother Frank had shared some posts on that, on the Bible, on the King James Bible, where they changed some words because I think it's in Ephesians. Paul was calling the government, the rulers of this world, evil rulers of this world, and it's beast. So that's why King James changed that. So he did not want to be called an evil ruler, So there's a change there. But we have this third beast here is the government, is the global government, is also called the beast. Why? Anybody can say why? Brother Ignatius?
Sorry. What did you say?
I said where in Revelation 13 and verse 1, we have this beast that comes out of the sea, right? And I say it's the government. It's a one world government. And there's 7 different rulers throughout history, throughout man's days on earth. But why is this government called a beast? Those are imperial governments. Go ahead.
No, the sound was cutting off. What are they called? Imperial governments, you said?
Yeah, well, why is these imperial governments called a beast or pictured as a beast?
Because they come out from the sea. They rule kingdoms or people.
Okay. How about that they are Satan-powered government?
They're evil.
Okay.
Yeah, Satan power. That's what we said, right? This is every time you have an entity that is called a beast, it's because it is powered by Satan. Satan's in control, and we see that it's the dragon that made the beast come out of the sea. So we have this third beast is the world government. Okay, and so we have the 3 beasts identified, right? And I'll put it on the group again in case, and I'll send it to Sister Denise too. I think I may have sent it to you though before, right? The six beasts of Revelation and the 4 beasts of Daniel. But anyway, I'll make it available again, and so that we, by rereading it, it'll be clearer. And so the first beast was Apollyon or Abaddon, that comes out of the bottomless pit that kills the 2 witnesses. The second beast is the dragon, who is Satan, that old serpent. The third beast is the one world government, powered by Satan at different times in history. 7 evil rulers, and the last one is still to come, right? The last one is the government of the Antichrist, and the ruler, being the men of sin. Fourth beast, fourth beast is in chapter Revelation 13 and in verse 3. You want to read that, Sister Teresa? Yeah. Okay.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
Keep reading a little bit, please.
And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
Okay, and as well read verse 7 too.
Okay. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And you may do 8?
Yeah, that's good. All right. So in verse 3 it says that one of the heads, which is the imperial ruler was wounded to death, and we know that that cannot be a government. A government's not wounded to death, and it's not a revived Roman Empire, as many would like to say. And if we read in the verses that we just read, that head is called the beast. We see that the whole world was amazed and followed after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, and because he gave authority to the beast. So the dragon, I guess, is different from the beast, but it's I put him along with the beast anyway, and he gives his authority, his power to the beast, and we see that beast from that point on that head is called the beast, and it is always referred to by the pronoun him. In verse 4, we'll say, who is like to the beast, and who is able to wage war with him. Well, I guess I'm in the NASB now, but it doesn't matter. Calling him. Verse 5, it calls him twice again. And again, I believe in verse 6, what it says to blaspheme. No, it's meant here.
6, his name.
Yeah, but that's God's name.
Oh, no, that's God.
Yeah. Verse 7, and it was also given to him again.
Right there, yeah.
To make war with the saints and to overcome them, in authority over every tribe and people and tongue and nation was given to him. So that head is called now a beast, and it is referred to with the pronoun him 6 times in the following 4 verses. Okay, so that's the 4th beast. The Antichrist himself, the ruler, this imperial king. Right. How would you say?
The man of sin?
Yeah, the man of sin. That's right. Yeah. All right. You got questions, Sister Lisa, now that you're back on? Have you followed?
Do I have what?
Were you able to follow?
I lost some of it, but I'll catch it up. You're not recording, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But we can. Okay. All right.
Because I've got a project going. I'll tell you about later.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Okay.
I'll catch up with what I missed.
That's fine. Okay. All right. So the 4th beast is the man of sin, Antichrist, and then we go to the 5th beast, which is identified in verse 11. Okay. So the first
and
beast. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. Sure. Come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. Okay, so this beast here is it does not appear before in the first half. We don't see him identified in prophecy in the book of Daniel. We don't see him there. We don't see him in Zechariah. We don't seem to see him anywhere other than Revelation in chapter 13. That's where he appears, and I think he's mentioned again in chapter 19 that he's been cast out. And I think, where is he called? I think that'd be interesting. Why don't we go to chapter 19, and I think that's when he's called the false prophet.
19.
Let's see here. Yeah, 19 verse 20. at the end, after the desolation of Jerusalem and after the battle of the great God, the battle
Okay.
of the great God, God Almighty, yeah. And then Jesus comes, and then there's this war there, and verse 20.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
Okay, so the what is described here, that this false prophet who performs signs in his presence. Let me go back to the King James so I can don't mix things up. So just hold on right here. Okay. The beast was taken, with him the false prophet, which wrought miracles before him. And that's what we see in Revelation 13, right? That beast that comes out of the earth is doing miracles with the same power that the first beast had. The beast that came, the head that had become a beast. So we can identify him as the false prophet. I think it could be mentioned somewhere else too, that the false prophet. Just a minute here.
I have
But
a question.
go ahead.
In 15, it says he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many to worship the image of the beast. Could it be that he brings to life something? Or am I wrong?
Well, it's because it's talking about an image, right? And of course, in those days, images did not move.
Right, but this one's going to. It
Exactly.
says give life to.
So that was
would that be like a robot or something?
Yeah, something done with AI for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There'll be definitely the use of AI in all of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and he's also called the false prophet in Revelation 16 and verse 13. So he's called the false prophet 3 times, I guess, in the book of Revelation. Revelation 16, Revelation 19, 20, and Revelation 20 and verse 10. So, all right. But in Revelation 13, he is identified as the beast that comes out of the earth. And I think it would make sense that this is not just a man. It comes out and it's got 2 horns. I always get to think that the 2 horns are probably 2 religious leaders that will be there, if that makes any sense. What do you think, Brother James?
But for me, it's just one, because when they're going to be cast in the lake of fire, we don't see 2 men there. Just see the beast and the false prophet.
True. Yeah, good point. Always wondered what it means, though. But we don't have just don't have any revelation on that.
I see that like
the 2 witnesses.
What's that?
It could be like the 2 witnesses, sort of.
Yeah, there could be someone else, but definitely one that is definitely the main. This is what I'm thinking, but
But for me, I see that the same thing like Jesus, when he had 7 horns, and then we see that, he have the power over 7 angels. So maybe the same thing, he have also 2 horns to maybe to lead, demons. Maybe the demons also.
Demons are man. I think it would be man though, because this is a physical being, like it's a false prophet. Well, and it's could be like a religious system, just like the beast that comes out of the sea is not just one man. It's actually the political system, the government system, and then there's one of the head. Each head is a leader, right? But those two, we don't have a lot of details on it anyway. But all I know is that it looks somewhat like a lamb, but it speaks like the devil. Yeah. Okay.
Could be two religious systems.
Yeah. Could be something, but it forms the one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So this would be the fifth beast. And, excuse me, we have the sixth beast. How about James, you want to explain that sixth beast? In Revelation 17?
What is that?
Revelation 17? It's got no crowns.
Oh.
I think you'll do a good job of that.
I think that is 10 other king.
Let's go read it though.
It's like the video that Brother Mike shared the last time. That will relate to that. Like it's like 10 king doesn't have crown, but they're gonna receive, power. Only 1 hour with the Antichrist to make the war with the Lamb.
Yeah. Well, let's go read it. Let's go in Revelation 17.
17.
Let's see. Let me check here what verse that would be.
You can read that to see the difference, because it's...
Yeah. I know 10, verse 10, but I think it starts before that. Just a minute.
Verse 8, I think.
Is it verse 8? But the beast that thou sawest was, just a minute. It goes before that.
How about 7?
Verse 3.
Okay. 3, 2, 10?
That's okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, and of abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carried her, which hath 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast thou sawest was, and is not, and it shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition, and that they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest, are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Yeah, might as well read verse 13, yeah.
These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
That's good. Yeah, I thought of reading that one too because of the one mind. Go ahead.
Maybe I'm
Yeah.
gonna explain the verse 8 because the way that is very strange. In the verse 8, we have two beasts in the same verse. That is how sometimes it works in the prophecy. You have the first beast. The Bible says he was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perditions. That is the first beast, and that is the dragon, the devil himself. And we see him in Revelation chapter 20, when he's going to be put there for 1,000 years in the millennium.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the verse, it seemed like it's the same beast, but the beast changed. The last beast, when they behold the beast at the end of the verse 8, the beast that was and is not and yet is, that is another beast, and that is the man of sin. You know that when you go to the verse 11, and the Bible revealed that. And the beast that was and is not, even he is. He is the eighth and is of the seven and go into the perdition. That is the man of sin, because he gonna subdue three other horns to become the eighth horn and the beast of the seven head and 10 horn beast.
Hold on. Just let's explain this here. Let me just backtrack a little bit. Okay, the beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. This is a reference to when Satan will be bound in the bottomless pit, right? Mm-hmm. And then he shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So that has not happened yet. Where?
Oh, that's after 1,000-year reign.
Yes, exactly. Where when the two witnesses get killed, well, that has not happened yet. So we can't make a future event something that's in the past. Do you know what I mean? Many will try to say, well, that's the devil that comes out of the bottomless pit. But we showed in Revelation 8 that Abaddon came up, ascended out of the bottomless pit. Okay? So this is not the same. Just thought I would clarify that here a little bit. Okay, the beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Okay, future tense. And go into perdition. That's also very important, because Satan will eventually will go into perdition after he ascends out of the pit. Okay. For Gog and Magog, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he ascends out of the pit. I think Gog and Magog looks like it's only going to last just a few days. I don't know. It's really not going to be long at all. And then he will be cast into perdition. All right.
And a lot of teach that Gog and Magog's now.
Yeah, they think it's the tribulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They mix the two.
You know what else I was thinking? You know how you did that post and you put Trump and all the big text behind him? That reminds me of could it be part of the kings, that haven't got a kingdom.
The post with Jeff Bezos and all the media, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and those are the kings that have not received the kingdom yet. But they have power as kings with the beast for 1 hour.
That make any sense? They're all with the most money.
Are you catching on to what we're saying here? That these are kings, because we'll read that where this what James wanted us to take the time to explain, but it's in verse 12, right? Okay, let's finish with verse 8, then we'll go on with the rest of it. Okay. So the king, okay, so that first part of verse 8 is talking about Satan himself. Now, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. How do you see that as two different beasts?
Because the beast that was and is not and yet is, that is the man of sin. I'm going to show that because he was.
Yes.
And then he was killed. When he was killed, he's not. And then he appeared now like he was resurrected.
Right, yeah, when he appears to be killed. Yes, and that's in Revelation 13. And it's the exact same wording, right?
Yes. And also the verse 11 even gave the revelation that he is the man of sin. And the verse 11.
Very good. Yes. Yes, right. Go ahead, Sister Teresa. You want to read it? Verse 11.
Yeah. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth and is the seventh, and goeth into perdition.
Okay. The beast that was and is not, okay, when the Antichrist appears to be killed, he was, and then he is not, but it says he is the eighth. What eighth? When the little horn appears on the head of Daniel, the fourth beast of Daniel 7, right? What happens to three kings? They get knocked over,
They're
right?
killed. Yeah.
So of the 10, there remains 7. But with him, he's the 8th. That makes sense? Is that good math?
Yes.
Okay. The little horn appears. removes 3 out of the way. So there remains 7 of the kings that were there, plus him. So he's the 8th. Okay, and we read this, that was in verse 11, right? The beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. Then it says, and is of the 7. 7 what? The 7 heads of the beast in Revelation 13:1. The imperial heads. The imperial kings, right? The emperors, which is a difference between a horn and a head, right? A head is an imperial king. A horn is a king of a single nation. So that's 7. He is of the 7. He is the 8th of that of the 10 kings. Okay, and he is of the 7 that were seen as heads upon the beast. Is that understandable?
Maybe to make it very clear, when you see a beast, the beast have seven head and 10 horn. When the man of Christ is gonna be raised, he's gonna subdue
the men of sin.
So a horn is a king of a single nation, but the head is an emperor of a kingdom. That is the difference between a head and a heart. But when the man of Christ is going to arrest, he's going to subdue 3 horns of the 10. He's going to remain 7 plus him. He become the 8th. But when he's going to become the head of the one world government, he's going to become the 7th head. He is the 7th head of the 7 head. And the other already died before. So he's the last one. Maybe that is good that we go.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, sister. Go ahead, Sister.
You guys have explained it before pretty good, where you said the imperialists were usually like the kingdoms, like Assyrian, right?
Yes.
They ruled and
the Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire.
The Assyrian Empire, the Babylonian Empire.
Yes, and then now it'll be all nations, right? Well, not all, but a lot.
It will be like a military empire, actually.
Yeah. Okay, that sense.
Yeah, so that's what a head is. It represents. And for example, one example I took before, the difference between a head and a horn. You'll never see a horn with multiple heads, right? But you will see a head with multiple horns. Okay? So the head is greater than the horn. Right. Because the horns are attached or under the authority of the head. Okay? So this is where you have this emperor, those empires, and there are several nations in the empire. Each nation and their ruler is represented by the horns. Okay? But the head is by itself is the empire in its ruler. For example, we take Nebuchadnezzar was one, and we can take I think Nero was one, right? And also and of course the man of sin is going to be one, or once the system's in place. Well, when it's officially. Does anybody have question? Is anything that anyone caught on some stuff that we said, but it's not clear? Anybody want trying to even think of? I get it, but not clear. There's something I'm struggling with. If you give a little bit of feedback, then we can probably try to address it better. Anyone? Brother Ignatius, is that clear for you? Or
Lisa's got her hand up.
Okay. Let's focus. Okay, go ahead.
Is that where does NATO come from? Sorry.
Go ahead, Brother Ignatius.
Yeah, where does NATO come in? The fourth beast of Daniel 7:23.
Yeah.
Has it already emerged?
Yeah, well, it exists now, right? We know that NATO exists now.
Okay.
When does the little horn appear on the head?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're asking?
That's right.
It happens at the first seal.
Okay.
Not at the beginning of the first seal, but at the end of the first seal, when he receives a crown. He's brought in to become one of the kings on top, on that head, on that NATO beast, on that fourth beast of Daniel. Okay, so that's when that comes into place, where that little horn becomes the 8, as we just read in Revelation 17 there, the 8, okay? And but he's not the 7th. The 7th yet. He's not the 7th head. He's the 8th. That's how it goes. He is the 8th horn on that of the 10 that were there, 3 is gone, and then he's the 8th horn, because at that point he's still not a head. He's still not the head. He may be at the head of NATO, but he's not, and I don't think he necessarily is the head of NATO, but he is invited to become one of the kings on the head of NATO. Okay? One of the main kings. But he is of the 7 what? Not 7 horns, 7 heads. This is a little tricky, that verse, because it talks, well, he's the 8, but he's of the 7. And what's that talking about, right? It's kind of weird. He's the 8th horn, because 3 are knocked down, 7, and he's the 8th, but he is of the 7 heads that were on the beast that came out of the sea. Did I lose you all? Or is that starting to sink in a little bit? That answer your question, Brother Ignatius? That makes sense?
It's just that with the 4th kingdom, will we realize who the 4th kingdom is going to be? Because a lot of people are not even aware where the 4th kingdom of these things. Will the church come to know that that's for sure?
You mean the 4th kingdom or the 4th beast?
Yep. No, the 4th beast.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Will we know for sure?
Yeah, many don't even know, don't even recognize that beast, don't even know who that is. Some I've seen, but yeah, because it's definitely showing the, it's a kingdom though. It's definitely the kingdom. The kingdom won't exist without the military power from NATO. Yeah. Sister Lisa, you had something?
Yeah. So a horn is a single nation. It's like
And its ruler.
And a head is like the ruler of a kingdom, of like Rome and all them, like
multi nations. Yes, correct.
So my husband told me he heard that Trump wanted to. He'd offered Canada and Mexico to become part of the United States, and he's also trying to get. Is it Greenland? Is it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's trying to buy that. So would that make him a head?
Not yet. Not offering doesn't do the job. He has.
Okay. Well,
but if it
happened, if that came to pass, would that make him a head?
Yeah, if it came to a place where there's a kingdom that is formed of nations, it doesn't mean it would make him a head of that beast, but it could make him a head in the sense of prophetic language.
That's what I meant.
That's what you meant. Yeah, that's what I figured you were saying. Yes, that's what it would be. Yeah, just like, for example, the Roman Empire was not always an empire. At first, it was a nation, right? And then it grew, and then we have, I think we have other examples that are not necessarily given us, like in Scripture, as a head, but we have, I think, Alexander the Great, right?
Right.
That would be an example. There's other ones also, but these 7 that are shown are Satan powered. It's not the works of men. It's definitely the works of Satan. And there's a man that, because it's the dragon that has the 7 crowns on its head. Okay, so it's actually the Satan who rules those imperial kingdoms that were illustrated through the dragon and with the 7 heads and then the 7 crowns on his heads. The beast that comes out of the sea does not have the crowns on the heads. The crowns are on the horns, because the heads are governed by the dragon, and the dragon has the crowns. Okay, so it's a difficult vision to understand. I mean, yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any or comment from anyone?
What about the scripture where it says the kingdom, is it the kingdoms of men have become the kingdoms of our Lord?
Yes, that's that's prophetic at the end of the sixth
Millennial.
seal. At the end of the sixth seal, when comes just before the seventh seal opens. Yeah, I think you're right, Sister Teresa. Yeah, with the it's just before the millennium. You know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That this is mentioned. Yeah. Okay. What else was there? Oh, we wanted to look at that verse 12. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. The 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. But let's go back just a little bit in verse 10. Might as well. Is this? No, verse 9. But we're going to go use a different Bible. We're going to use the NASB, but you can look it up in the, that was in chapter 17, right? And verse 9, where it talks about those heads, right? And there used to be this question about here's the mind which has wisdom in verse 9. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. Okay? And many will say, oh, we'll take this literally. They'll say, well, those mountains are the 7 hills of Rome.
Yeah.
But there's also 7 hills of Jerusalem.
A lot of places have
and there's 7 hills of Montreal. There's 7 hills of many, about 41 cities throughout the world are built on 7 hills. So that's a very poor way of saying, okay, those. But here's the thing. If you look at the King James, it's a little confusing because it says, here's a mind that has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. Just a minute here. On which the woman sitteth. Okay, that's fine. Then verse 10 says, and there are 7 kings, as if the 7 kings are separate from the mountains and from the heads. But if you look at other versions, it will say, and they are 7 kings. The 7 mountains are 7 kings. Well, how is a mountain and a king? What is the relationship between a mountain and a king?
Kingdom.
Yeah, a mountain is a kingdom. Exactly. And we have that in I think it was in Psalms 30, verse 7. Yes.
Lord, by thy favor thou hast made me my mountain to stand strong. Thou didst hide thy face, and I was troubled.
So he's saying this is the king, right? David is speaking. He's the king. He says, Lord, by the favor, you have made my mountain to stand strong. Well, what could he be talking about? What's his mountain?
Kingdom.
Can only be his kingdom. And we have this term of mountains are used in Daniel chapter 2. And so those are, so this is why he says, well, these are, he says, they are 7 kings. The mountains are the 7 kings. Well, what is a king without a kingdom? Or what is a kingdom without a king, right? It just doesn't exist, really, right? So, all right, so this is where the 7 hills are not 7 mountains are not 7 hills, but they are 7 kingdoms in the past, 7 kings that ruled over their kingdom. Even though we find that one beast, which is the leopard, had 4 heads. So there was 4 emperors. That was, okay. All right.
That was Rome, was it?
Yes, the Roman Empire, correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, what was it, Brother James, in Revelation 13? We wanted to compare the sentence, right, with Revelation 17.
I did not hear, Brother Mike.
Yeah, that that the beast which was and is not in Revelation 17, and we see it's a direct reference, identical reference from Revelation 13.
Yes.
Where's that at exactly? What verse?
In Revelation 17 or in Revelation 13?
13.
Yes, verse 3, I think.
Yeah, and I saw in his hand as were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given to him to continue 42 months.
Verse 8.
Verse 8.
That is the verse 8,
right,
yes.
okay. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the Lamb, in the life, in the book of life of the Lamb, saved from the. And what else?
Yes, that's it. That is the same thing that we see in the Revelation 17.
What, verse 8?
Yes, verse 3 and 8 is equivalent to the verse that we read in Revelation 17.
Verse 8, 17,
verse
8.
11. Verse 11, yes, to 12.
17:8.
Yes.
The beast that your
end.
son is not is about to come up out of the abyss and go to destruction. And those who dwell on the earth. Oh, those who dwell on the earth. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yes.
Whose name has not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world will wonder when they see the beast. Well, now I'm in a different version. Let me just take the other one here. King James. Revelation 17 and verse 8, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
The second part of the verse says, And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Oh, yeah, it's very much the same. When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And let's go back to Revelation 13. And that would be verse 8 as well. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Yes, okay. So that's talking about the beast, the Antichrist. Not
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's very that one is more difficult. Yeah. Let's get back to Revelation 17 and verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. Look at the details. Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay? Let's go now from there to Revelation 12 and verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, or scarlet dragon, right? Red, scarlet, same color. So that beast, but that red dragon, we'll compare now with, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on it upon his head. Now Revelation 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. The beast is not scarlet, but it has names of blasphemy. Now, if we go to Revelation 17 and verse 3, we find that these details are combined together. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon what? A scarlet-colored beast. Not dragon, but it is scarlet. So this is showing the beast with the power of Satan in it. It's got the color. And this is showing more the religious entity of it. And then look at that, what it says, and full of names of blasphemy, as the one in verse 13. So it's got the color of the dragon. It's got the names of blasphemy, like the beast, the government, the one world government rulers at different times, the emperors. And it's got 7 heads and 10 horns, but no crowns on either one. So this is a blend of the dragon and of the beast that comes out of the sea, but it reveals 10 horns who do not have crowns on them yet. So there's something different there, right? And this is where it says these are 10 kings that have not received a kingdom yet. Okay? And this is where we say those are non-political rulers. Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates,
Elon,
Jeff Bezos, and
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, and those people have a lot of power in as much as any governor, any rulers, but they do not have a literal political kingdom. But what are they going to do? These kings that do not have a kingdom yet? Verse 13 of 17 says, these have one mind. They got one purpose. They got one thing. They got this one world government, this Zionist idea. They're in it. And they shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Why? Because that beast is empowered by Satan, by the dragon. Okay. So I want to do get a little bit of an idea of the 6 beasts that we find in Revelation. The first one would be who?
Napoleon.
Yeah. The second one, chapter 12. The beast of beasts.
Satan or the man of sin?
Satan. Then the third beast comes out of the water, of the sea. Has 7 heads.
Global government.
The global government. The fourth beast is the head that was wounded to death, but it lived. That would be
Man of sin.
The man of sin. The fifth beast comes out of the earth.
Prophet.
Judy, say it.
A false prophet.
A false prophet, and more than likely with his false religion, false prophet. Definitely, we could say the false prophet. Yeah, that's it. And then the sixth beast is actually a blend of the dragon and the one world government, but the horns are different. They don't have crowns. So those are not the same horns. So, but it's still it's just showing the different aspect, different players in the whole system. Yeah.